Good morning.
Good morning.
I always like to go to Facebook and make sure everything's like operating properly because I'm still trying to get the hang of this. Do you think you're going to be able to handle it whenever I'm on maternity leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Oh, boy.
Well, it was, here. I think it is working. I was telling her that I forgot to turn the, whatever this, like the sound deck on this morning. And I sent it to Phil and I said, what am I doing wrong? And he said, did you even turn the power on? Like,
Shoot.
We're going to blame that on pregnancy brain.
There you go.
Once again.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Happy almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
See, I'm wearing my Bradley Rose Boutique shirt.
I was going to wear one of mine and then I just...
Like with a little XOXO and
or
all
something
that.
like that. I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just...
So what's funny is I put this on and I was wearing it. I don't think I've washed it. I'm so sorry. How gross is that? I don't think I've washed it since I put it on. And I think I wore it just for a few hours the other day. But it was so funny because, I took it out of the package, but I think one of your hairs was under the little decal thing. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like the vinyl. Well, because it was caught under there and it was brown. And I thought, which I do have some brown hair. It could have been mine.
That's weird.
But it was like a hair. And I was like, oh, look, it's Megan's hair, which I thought it was hilarious. It's not. But your hair's long. You know how that goes.
Start putting it up until you're working in the cafeteria or something.
I know the boys are like, "What are you doing? Why do you have a cap on your head? You're just making shirts."
Oh my gosh!
So that's just a little bit of extra love that you put into your packages.
It was on purpose.
A little extra hair.
I want you to clone me if I'm ever gone or something.
Yeah. Parker was trying to get me to read this, and I'm like, "Well, it's got a whole bunch of stuff on it, but." It says like Valentine's Day and Be Mine and all kinds of stuff on it. But yeah, it's so cute. And then I know I wore this sweater last time, but Valentine's Day is on Monday.
It was also 2 weeks ago.
I know. I was
we weren't here last week.
True. Yes. Maybe that's my excuse for not remembering to turn things on.
You missed a week.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that
pass.
For the week before? That was your first week doing it all, right?
Yes.
So there you go. So you've only done one time.
Thank you. I know. It's a miracle I can pull it off at all. And I feel like I have to reach over here for my microphone.
I know. I feel like I'm
We did not get situated this morning. Okay, but did you get his Valentine's box made?
Yes, he colored.
How long were you up last night? How late? She texted me and I was like, I'm already in bed. And she said she was making his Valentine's box.
Well, their father left close to 8:30, and they've been going to sleep between 8 and 8:30.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, great. So, but then they were watching TV, and then I was like, okay, well, let's just say it was fine. I was just emotional basket case, so I wasn't really like totally,
you weren't in the right
I was not in the mom
space.
zone, no. And then I was like, okay, I've got to put my phone down, just took 20 steps backwards, walk forward.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I was like, okay, so I go to get the wrapping paper that I bought. It looks silver.
Yeah.
Like it straight up looked like it was like a metallic silver wrapping paper.
Yeah.
And I'm unwrapping it and I'm like, oh, there's a clear covering around it.
Oh no.
And as I'm like unrolling it and I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like,
the whole thing.
Where's the wrapping paper?
Oh no.
So I was like, oh my gosh. It was basically like a big thing of saran wrap practically. And I was like,
no.
What's happening right now? So Alex is looking at me. He's like, where's the wrapping paper? And I'm like,
he's like, this does not look right.
Yeah. So that's when I texted you and I was like, I wonder if you have Avengers or something that I could wrap his box in. Because when I was at Target last night, I meant to grab something like that.
Okay.
So that way his box had.
Well, because what was the theme of his box? Like, what were you going to do?
I was going to, I don't know.
With the silver, did you have a plan?
Wrap it in silver,
like a robot or something?
Maybe, sure.
Oh,
sure.
No. You hadn't figured it out yet?
I was just going to wrap the box, and I was going to let him draw on it or put some stickers.
Okay.
He's simple, and I didn't really care this year, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
well, absolutely.
Aiden came home from preschool. They made white paper bags with just hearts all over it.
So, and that's what
Valentine's in.
Well, and that's what Parker's teacher said they're going to do too, because she said you don't have to make a box.
Yeah.
Because some kids don't, they don't bring a box in.
Yeah.
So she said they were all going to be making bags anyway. So, I mean, that's totally fine.
His teacher sent an email in Seesaw saying, like, if you bring a box, don't have it be any bigger than a shoebox.
Oh, shoot. I don't know that they told us that, but his was bigger than a shoebox. Oh no, that's terrible.
I'll do better next year when they're both like in school. Like,
yeah.
This year,
you get a pass.
I'm basically just telling myself, as long as they survive.
Right.
That's
You're like, hey, they're fed and they have clothes
fed,
on their back.
they're loved. It's okay.
They're washed.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So then I'm looking at the box and I'm like, what?
So what did you do?
Yeah. So we have, like a big thing of white paper for their easel.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's
genius.
thicker.
Genius.
So I'm like, okay. So one, though, I'm a terrible wrapper. So somehow I got the whole thing wrapped. And I was like, okay.
But then you had to like cut a hole in it, or what'd you do?
So the box that I had, it actually had already a hole cut out.
Oh.
Like it had it wasn't completely cut out. It was there, and all you had to do is just press it down, and there was the hole.
Oh.
Yeah. So
did you buy the box?
Yeah, it was like $2 from the dollar store.
Okay. I use like a Amazon box or something.
When I went to the dollar store to get his Valentine's cards, it was there, and I was like, that is a pre-cut hole. I'm going to snatch that up.
You're like, score.
Yeah, yay. So that's what I did. So I wrapped it, and then I said, okay, Alex, go crazy. And
good. So he got to decorate it himself.
So then I put the baby to sleep. So he actually we had extra Valentine's cards, and they were Spider-Man.
Okay.
So we cut Spider-Man's head so it wouldn't have like the words.
Oh,
and
funny.
he taped.
The box. Listen.
It looks... I was going to say something, but people would probably get mad. It looks trashy.
Oh, no. But you know what? He probably loves it. Did he love it?
Yeah, he like colored it red, and he did his hearts on there, which of course his hearts don't have a point.
Oh.
So it goes.
So it's like a bean or something like that.
He has the two humps, and then rather than a point, it just
hey, that's perfect.
So he has those all over the side, and then he taped the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did do little goodie bags though for all of his classmates.
Oh, good. Okay.
So,
did you go to the Dollar Tree like I did?
Yes.
That's where it's
so
at.
we've got notepad, pencil.
Oh, you
candy.
went that way. Oh, nice. Wow.
Candy.
I just threw some candies in there.
Yeah. No.
Well, and then I had that little balloon thing. It's
box,
like yeah.
Box might look
Well,
crap,
and listen, none of Parker's stuff matches because I made his box and it's like Mario, which I couldn't decide whenever I was printing them off. There was 3 different kinds of Marios. There was like a really old one and like a new one, and then I had like one in the middle. And I go, Parker, which one do you want? And he's like, I want all 3. And I was like, okay, there ain't nothing saying we can't put all 3 Marios on one box.
Well, Alex asked me last night. He goes, aren't we going to print something out? And I'm
like, because I did.
I was like,
Parker.
I'm like, this dog to Cassie.
Yes, because
but I can't get my printer to work. It won't hook back up.
No.
Yeah, basically
it was a conversation in the car on the way to school the other day because Parker wanted to take his box early because one of his classmates, he goes, well, Harrison brought his, box. And I said, okay, fine, then you can take your box in early. So we took it in the other day. But so Alex goes, well, how did you get the Marios? And he, Parker's like, well, my mom has a printer. And he was like, you don't have one because my mom has one in her office. And I said, easy there. I said, his mom has a printer.
I do. It just won't work anymore.
Oh no. Well, I could have printed something off for you, but
I didn't even think about it.
It's just funny how they pick up on stuff like that, you know.
That's what kids do.
But I was gonna say his stuff doesn't even match because he's got a Mario box, and then he picked out some cards that are like sports, basketball, because they're heavy into that right now.
Yes.
And then, but then the little goodie bags have like a panda bear on them. Nothing matches.
Okay. Nothing
matches.
Oh, well, I couldn't even find goodie bags, so I have Ziploc baggies.
Oh, that's good though.
But then I put red and white, like the tore up tissue paper.
Oh, that's creative.
Thank you.
That's cute.
So to make the Ziploc baggie look a little bit more, nice.
I'm gonna do that next time.
Valentine's pencil, Valentine's notepad, candy.
Look at you.
And then your little Valentine's card.
Wow, you pulled it together.
Yes, I did. And I did.
Well, and I got
last night.
Better late than never. That's good. Well, and what I was thinking? I don't remember any of my Valentine's stuff, like from whenever I was in kindergarten. I don't have a clue.
I don't remember at all.
They're not going to remember, They don't.
For all I know, back then they didn't.
Exactly.
They didn't
Exactly. Yeah. So, and basketball practice, I was going to say we had that last night, and it was so good. They're getting so good. They are.
Sad I didn't go.
Well, it's. I was going to say you really didn't miss much because and Phil is the coach, and he was having trouble last night. He's like, I don't know if I can handle this, just because they're 6 years old. It's hard, and they're not all listening, and anyways, and I think for Parker anyway, and I don't know if Alex been doing tricks since he came home from the Harlem Globetrotters.
The circles?
Yes. Oh my gosh, every time. Parker's like, look at this new trick I saw. So Phil and I took the boys to see the Harlem Globetrotters on Monday night. And so, of course, now they're trying to do all these tricks. I had to tell Parker, I said, okay, whenever you're at basketball practice or you're at your game, you can't be doing these tricks.
They were doing them last night?
Well, yeah, of course, because Phil had him do like shoot around. And he's like, oh, yeah, just do like shooting practice or something. Just go down there and just shoot. And we look over and both of them are like doing spins and twirls and they're sitting on their ball. And so Phil's like, hello, you're supposed to be shooting, supposed to be doing tricks.
Alex literally... He's slept with the basketball.
Oh.
Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I don't think he did. He didn't last night. He's been sleeping with the ball. And then yesterday.
Cute.
Yesterday, he's like, I want to take this to school. And I said, you can't. And
Parker's been dying.
Yeah. And I'm like, you cannot take it to school. Why not? I was like, because it's a basketball.
Right. Yeah. What are you going to do with a basketball?
I said, your teacher will take that away from you if you take that to school.
Yes.
He's like, I want to show off my friends.
Talk about a distraction.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, because he's been, I don't know about Alex, but he's just bouncing it all over the house.
Yes.
I've been letting him do it because it's so snowy
Me
and everything
too.
outside. It's so cold. And he's like, can I? So this morning, I had to get up early and Phil was still sleeping. And Parker comes walking into the bathroom and he's got his basketball. And I'm like, don't you dare drop that ball. Because I knew he was going to start bouncing it. And Phil was sleeping. And
I
was like,
the other day when Aiden was still sleeping. And all of a sudden he goes, bounce. And I go, Aiden's sleeping. And he goes, oh. He does it one more time. And I look at him and he goes, okay. He sits down, holds his ball.
It's like such self-control. They have to have self-control.
But I'm excited, though, because he's never showed this much interest.
Yeah, that's so
in
good.
a sport before.
Same with Parker.
Same.
He is loving it.
Yeah. He's never even played basketball before this.
Yeah, same here. I think Parker, whenever we watched Space Jam last summer, he fell in love with basketball and it's just been on his mind ever since.
Yeah, now Alex has, so.
And their game went so well last weekend, I thought. Especially because they hadn't played before, and you don't know what to expect.
That team was pretty good. There's a couple kids on that team. They were good. I was like,
I'm like, okay, y'all have played before, clearly.
You must have played before, and your parents probably play more than what we play with our kids.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Because they shot 3 baskets.
I know. They were shooting baskets and stealing the ball and all kinds of stuff. I was like, dang.
Well, I look over and Alex was biting his nails on the court.
Because he got nervous.
Or then he's running and he looks at me and he smiles and I'm like, focus.
Yeah, it's like, put your head in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Then he comes up to me, he goes, did we win? I was like, no. And he goes, what? I was like,
sorry, buddy.
Buddy, I don't think you really understand what just happened.
I know. Bless their heart.
I was like, and then I said, you have to take the ball from them. And he goes, well, Mr. Phil didn't tell me that I could do that. And I was like.
He's probably like, well, that's their, but that's good though. He's like, well, they're playing with it. I don't want to take it away from them.
That's rude, right?
It's like, this is the one time that's okay.
Yeah, I told him, I said, you can take it. And he goes, I can?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, slap it out of their hands. Do something.
Well, and we worked last night on inbounds, outbounds, because bless their hearts, they just kept running and went past all the lines, and then they're like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Because the ref would stop them, and they're like, what'd I do wrong? They don't understand.
Why'd you blow a whistle?
I will say, though, I was not expecting Parker to make a basket at the game.
I know. I was like, listen, go Parker.
I was not well, and I'm blaming it on pregnancy, but I cried. I did the ugly cry. I'm glad nobody saw me because I was sitting in the front row, but I was like.
You cried?
I cried. I was so proud of him. I was like, I'm so proud of him. Because he's never played before and he loves it so much. He's never played basketball before. This was his first game, and he got the first basket,
No,
and
I was very impressed.
It was early on in the game, too.
I kind of thought,
and I'm like, I just caught me off guard. Yeah, it just caught me off guard, and I'm like, go
He was so proud of himself, too. He was like,
oh, yeah.
He's running down the field.
Listen, he did this little chest pound thing, which I thought maybe was a LeBron James thing because, he watches him and stuff. But he was like, Mom, did you see me after I shot it? He was like, I went like this. And I go, is that something that LeBron does? And he was like, no. And so I asked Phil, because, Phil knows sports. Yeah. And I go, who does that? And he's like, I don't know. So Parker just made it up on his own. So I guess that's his signature move.
Okay.
He pounds his chest.
He does it again. Yeah.
If he makes it. Only if he makes the basket.
Still, though, I was impressed.
Hey, listen, I was. You and I both. I did not expect that.
But I will say, though, the other team, though, very definitely.
They did.
What's funny, though, is so my parents went And when Alex played soccer last year, you know, he was like, he didn't run after the ball very much. So I'm like, okay, evidently you're not getting the soccer gene from your mom. That's fine. I guess we'll just move past it. But then he played t-ball, and he was definitely, he was definitely more interested in t-ball, and he did good. But it was boring to watch.
Yes.
And I get to my parents were bored.
Yes.
But like this was the first time I looked over. My dad was like clapping and smiling, and they were laughing at the kids and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, evidently basketball is more entertaining for 6-year-olds.
Yes.
So.
It is. Well, because it's so fast paced, and like everybody's, and there's just constant running, and poor Parker's like, my chest was hurting. My chest was hurting because we were running like so fast. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you were.
So
That's a sport. Congratulations.
Exactly. I'm like, you need to start doing some, sprints up and down
the sidewalk. Yeah.
Oh, so anyways, it's so cute watching them. It's adorable. It really is. So I can't wait for tomorrow and the whole season. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Isn't it only like a month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go to like the very last game. We were talking about bringing snacks and stuff, but I think Lane will be here by then. So, and I don't plan on taking him to a crowded basketball game.
I wouldn't.
But so that's probably the only one I'm going to miss, though, and then we should be able, to go to all the other ones. Yeah. But I'm excited about that. So, do you have any plans for Valentine's Day? Any coffee dates coming up?
Oh, sweet Moses.
You have one maybe possibility on the horizon?
Oh, yeah, but
listen,
I wouldn't really consider that
a Valentine's Day
date.
Yeah,
at all.
Are you just gonna graze right over this holiday and just keep on moving?
Yeah.
I mean, what other option do you have, really?
There's really no other options, Cassie. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's
Listen, when I was thinking like, man, Phil and I don't even have any plans like to go out to dinner or anything like that. Usually, I think we try to. My birthday was last weekend, and
did you guys go out?
No, but it was like snowpocalypse.
Maybe he'll surprise you.
Okay, listen, have you ever met my husband? There's no surprise there at all. In fact, he told me because he didn't bring me anything for my birthday. Gift giving is not one of my love languages, or gift receiving is not one of my love languages. And so things that he's given me in the past, I guess I've just been like, oh, thanks, because it's like I would have rather had something. I'm sounding really ungrateful right now. Regardless. He didn't give me anything. He's like, oh, like after I woke up on my birthday, he's like, oh crap, I didn't get you anything. And I was like, okay. But it worked out though, because it was a really chill day. And I still wasn't feeling very well. I think I had COVID. I don't know. I just assumed I was positive and I just stayed away, quarantined. But I still wasn't feeling all that well. And we just took it easy. I took a 2-hour nap that day. It felt so good.
Well, you're making a small
You're
person,
right. Yeah. And I feel like I've been
sleep.
exhausted lately. I'm like, I don't know if it's the pregnancy or what's going on, but like I am exhausted. And I turned 36 and then I thought, wait a minute, I'm going to be 36 weeks on my 36th birthday. And then I was like, oh crap, I am 36, but I'm going to be 35 weeks. Or I said I was going to be 35 weeks on my 35th birthday. And I'm like, I just lost a year. I thought I was 35. But this whole last year I did think I was a year older, so
That's
it's all
okay.
good.
It's fine.
But I am 36 now officially, so. But I don't feel like it, age is just a number. But I am excited to get this pregnancy over with.
You are.
I'm like, okay.
You are so
I've reached the point where I'm like, okay, it's not cool anymore. Let's just get this.
Yeah.
Let's just get this show on the road.
So are we gonna get any bigger?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I go today and they're gonna measure and see how much he weighs, so I get to see how big he is. Because I think the last time they estimated he was like 5 pounds already. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Because Parker was almost 9 pounds. I'm like, wow, he still has to gain like another 4 pounds before he comes out.
Andrew was 8'15".
Oh my gosh.
And he was born a week and a half early.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I know somebody said, what if you go into labor early? And I was like, I really don't see that happening. I feel like I'm a good incubator.
But they say, though, that with each pregnancy,
it's going to come sooner?
Yeah. It comes sooner and quicker.
Well,
obviously that doesn't happen for everyone.
Yeah.
But
right.
It happened with me.
Well,
3.
That I don't think it's gonna. Well, and you're so young. Maybe it came because of. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But I was gonna say I've already got my C-section scheduled. And I was worried about COVID, but hopefully I already had COVID and got over it. But we talked about how I was gonna. Phil said, "Are you gonna reschedule your C-section if you have COVID because they are gonna make you quarantine?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah. Like I don't want them to take my baby away from me.
Nope.
So I told Megan she's going to have to come to my house and we're going to get a swimming pool from Sam's. We're just going to have that baby. I was like, I'm going to pop this baby out in the living room if this is what we have to do.
I got you. I got you.
Phil's like, let's let that be a last resort.
I really don't want to. Okay?
I really don't want to have a baby in
Listen, I've had 3. Okay, I've learned some stuff. Okay, I've got you.
I'll get you. We'll have to get you the glove. Yeah, the gloves that go up to the.
It might be a good idea to like call him in,
or the elbow. I meant. Yeah,
just in case.
Just to have one on backup. Yeah, but I think I was like, I think I can call enough of my friends that we've all had babies. I think we could all figure it out.
Absolutely.
Maybe watch a couple YouTube videos.
Well, Carrie's a nurse. She works with labor and delivery.
Hello.
So we'll just get Carrie to come on over.
Then there we go.
We're good.
Problem solved. Problem solved.
It's all good.
So we have a backup plan. Phil, I hope that makes you feel better. That Carrie, we can just call her. She's just a couple
Carrie,
doors down.
and she'll just come.
My
right
mom,
down.
I just noticed that she chimed in and said good morning. Good morning, Mom, if you're still listening. Mom has COVID right now. I tell you, it's been going around like wildfire. Knock on wood, you guys have been safe. I know you guys had a couple ear infections with the boys lately.
Herd immunity.
That's right. Yes, and you have your own herd at
Yes,
your house.
I do.
There's 4 of you.
Yeah.
So no, that's so good. But my mom, she's vaccinated, and sorry, I hope that's okay that I shared that. But she started feeling kind of crummy like on Monday night, and she's like, "I'm going down, Cassie. I'm going down." And then sure enough, she got tested and it was positive. I think that's the first time she's had it since all of this.
When did she find out?
She got tested on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
But it was, it just kind of snuck up out of nowhere.
But that's what this new variant is doing.
I tell you. Because, I mean, really, she's kind of like me. Like, as far as like a crowded place, the only place that we go is like a church, where there's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Because other than that, she works in like a kind of a cubicle where she's not, kind of isolated from everybody.
You can get this thing from
anything,
anyone, anywhere. Yes. And I think everyone's going to get it.
I know.
Honestly.
Luckily, though, it doesn't seem to be as bad, which if I did have it, it's the second time I've had it. But so maybe it's because I had it before and maybe I have the antibodies or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Anyways.
They did the study that talked about how you have bone marrow that will continue to have the antibodies.
Dang.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm protected for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the other time I got it, the first time, I was pregnant. And of course, I didn't know I was pregnant then. So I'm like, he's going to come out like a warrior.
A warrior.
Like he's so strong.
See?
Hey, so when I was going to say, I found on Facebook, I think it was, is it Time and Loaf here in Rogersville? You know what I'm talking about? How they have flowers for Valentine's Day. Did you see that? Mm-mm. I'm trying to pull it up on here.
I followed them, but I didn't see anything.
Well, they've got these cute little arrangements, and I was going to ask Will how to like share my screen so I could pull them up. But they've got these cute little arrangements that they do, and you can stop by there. I think they're available today. I might have taken a screenshot of it, but I think they're available today. You can stop over there from like 9 to 2. I'm saying this for, a man
all the
that
men
might
out
be
there listening.
One particular man that might be listening to this, that he could get me flowers.
Anyone wants to bring me flowers.
Right here in Rogersville. And anyways, so that was cute. And I thought that would be a good thing I think I'm not spelling this right, and that's why I can't get it to pop up. But I don't know how to share my screen anyway. But the little arrangements are so cute. So people can stop in there.
Hopefully this is like my only Valentine's Day alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I have faith that it is.
I don't, but that's okay.
We've got a year to figure that out. You got a whole year.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay. You've got some prospects. That's all right. And listen, you're putting your heart out there, and that's the most important.
Right? Slowly.
You can do it.
Slowly.
I know it's scary, but you got to do it.
It is like the most terrifying thought.
But also, if you look at it a different way, it's exciting.
That's what I keep telling myself. I'm like, think about it, like.
Yes.
It's going to be new, but then I'm like, the last time I was single, I was a teenager.
Things have changed.
I know. That's my whole point.
Well, you weren't a teenager that long ago. I guess things have really changed since I was a teenager.
Well, I was married for 7 years, though.
Yeah. Well, you might be surprised. You got to put yourself out there. You can do it.
I'm already envisioning, like, sitting down and having dinner with someone, and they ask about me. And so, I saw you had kids on Facebook. Yeah. So what about the father? Well,
where do I begin?
Well, we were married for like 7 years, and 7 years.
Hey, but you know what? That's almost kind of better than it's like, we were married so quick, and then it,
Yeah.
At least they know that you you can commit that long. You know what I mean?
I was committing for even longer, but
True.
That's fine.
That's very true.
Oh, let me tell you though, last night, I was like, it's like I've been doing so good.
Yes, you have been doing really good.
So good. And then he came over, and I felt like I took 20 steps backwards. And I have not felt that way. Ever, like, seeing him at all, like, recently, like, I barely talk to him, and I just leave because I don't want to deal with any of it. And last night, with everything he was saying and how he acted.
Which is wrong.
I know.
Yeah.
So not cool.
Well,
so not cool.
But at the same time, I wonder if it's good to get it all out as part of the healing process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To hit that hump, not that you wanted to, but to hit that hump, and then you kind of like, okay, and then it makes you stronger. You know what I mean?
Well, what's worse is like the way that he was acting made me think that he was having that like regret type thing.
Well, because you've already signed papers, right? So I mean,
yeah.
But you could, I guess, nothing's final yet. So you could, I guess, if you wanted to call things off.
It's like a 30-day waiting period, which we're coming up on probably 2 weeks more.
Wow.
And then that's, I don't know if you have to sign again.
Yeah, it just happened so fast.
I know.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So if anything changed, you would have to start all over again.
Yeah, but, I don't think anything's going to change. I think he'll wake up eventually and be like, oh, crap. But
I mean, at that point,
I can't wait for 2 years for that to happen.
Absolutely not.
So,
no, absolutely not. Because you never know, and you can't wait around, because how are you supposed to know if it even happens?
You know what I was thinking? So have you seen that meme where it's like you see God and he's holding, well, there's a little kid, right? And there's God. And the little kid is crying, saying like he wants his teddy bear back. His little teddy bear, he's throwing a fit. He wants it back. God's telling him it's going to be okay. Like,
you're going to make me cry. Listen, I was just talking about how emotional I am.
It's okay.
Don't do this to me.
I cried a lot last night. It's okay. It's all fine. It's all good. And he's holding it, and what the kid doesn't see is behind God's back is like a teddy bear, like 3 times the size of the little one.
Yes.
And he's basically saying like,
let go of this one.
Let go of this little thing.
Yes.
I have something bigger and better for you.
And you just can't see it right now.
You just can't see it yet.
And you don't understand.
And you don't get it. You don't understand. You can't comprehend why things happen. And of course, we're never going to understand it. I feel like, why do people get cancer? Why do people, and I was thinking that the other day. I was like, well, because I'm like, my situation is just, I don't understand it. Like there's no indication. He never communicated or said a single word of what he was feeling. So then when he took off, I was like, come again?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because he didn't say a word. In fact, I told him, I was like, you pretty much played me as you played me. Because I thought everything was fine. Like I never once for a second thought this.
Saw it coming, yeah.
Not even for a second, because you did not give me any reason to think otherwise.
Right. Or a chance to fix anything.
Nothing. Yeah. No. He kept his feelings to himself for months, maybe years. And then all of a sudden did what he did. Yeah. So it gave him clarity, which he said again last night. And then that was, And I'm just like, that's called feeling bad about what you've done and then trying to self-sabotage. Yeah. And he's just like, well, and I'm like, no, sorry, buddy. I'm right. I was like, I've talked to pastors. I've talked to people that have been counsel people in this. I was like, what you did was, Anyway, but the whole point, though, is like, that I was thinking to myself, well, why do people get cancer? Why do people die in car accidents? Why do all these bad things happen? Yeah. And I was like, it's because sin's in the world. Sin is all around us. And God can't go and stop every bad thing from happening to his children. He can't do that. Could he? Sure. But there'd be no lessons to be taught, which sucks. Yeah. But there'd be no lessons to be taught. There would be no testimonies and things to be able to then help people in that situation. Like I could be going through this, and in the future, maybe this is crazy, but maybe I'm talking on stage to a crowd of women who need to hear something, that there's hope at the, I'm just thinking to myself, there's a reason why God didn't go and just pull him out of that situation or pull, whatever. And so there has to be, I can throw a fit and ask God why, and I did last night again. But I feel like God's just Like, he's not, I thought he would have answered my prayer for this. He hasn't. Does that mean he wouldn't? No, but it means that right now he's not. And I have to almost take that as he's got something better planned.
Absolutely.
And in store.
And shielding
And shielding me from more pain.
Absolutely.
That could have came down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah.
From being married to someone that wasn't who they said they were.
And it's easy to feel angry, but at the same time, you really need to like lean into your relationship with God, and
which I have,
and let it, and just build that relationship and get stronger there, and then everything would fall into place.
Well, they talked about at church, for the single people, because we're doing a
which you are so brave.
Series.
You are so brave to be doing that. Like I seriously, I told Phil about that last night. I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that.
I don't know either.
I mean, that's like that
honestly.
takes guts.
Well, and I can tell people looking at me, they're almost like shocked every time. Like,
yeah.
So we're doing a marriage series on Sunday morning, and they're also doing a marriage midweek. So they're like diving in deeper. And
so every Sunday and every Wednesday. Yeah.
And I'm going.
And you're sitting there, everyone's all paired up.
Everyone's paired off. They even say like, okay, turn to your spouse or your partner or whatever and pray together. And I'm just like,
which it was you and me the other day since like, Phil had to work.
So, and I had
but there are other single people
There's
there.
a couple.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
Like college students and stuff like that.
One of them was really cute, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that.
We'll do that next week.
When we know more.
But it's just like, obviously, like, I thought to myself, like, well, why couldn't this came last year?
Yeah.
Why couldn't this have come in November?
That's why it's so shocking to me that you're going, because of everything that, like, with Wednesday night, everything you talked about, and how you need to have the everything talk, and coming to your spouse, and I'm just like, how is she listening to this right now?
And I'm taking notes.
Like, I mean, you're not the one that needs to be taking notes, though.
I know what I mean?
But
it's just like one of those things, and like, I thought to myself, like I said, well, why couldn't this have came last year? I'm thinking to myself, God knew what was going to happen. God already knew. Like, they've been planning this for months.
Yeah.
God knew they were going to do this after. Yeah. So what's his plan? Like, why? True. And why is he giving me the strength to go listen?
Yeah.
Why is he, like, opening my eyes and listening to, like, when...
There's a reason.
When Justin talked about on Sunday, the wives and stuff, he also talked about betrayal. And he talked about how sometimes the betrayer is actually shocked at how many years it can take for the other person to actually heal and regain trust.
Wow.
And he said that the betrayer has to stick in and do the work and put God first and put their spouse first to make it better. And I'm thinking to myself, that's the issue. That he, like, from the very first thing that happened, 6 years ago, there was never true heartfelt work biblically that I needed to heal. And then all the lying about the other stuff for the last couple of years.
But at the same time,
but that made it worse, because I never had that opportunity and chance to have that person stick it in and, be there and help me heal. And then instead he just made it worse by doing other things that made me have less trust. So,
and this is another great thing that would be indicators of red flags in the future. Whenever you start to date, you going through this series is going to help you realize those things at a much earlier pace.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, wait a minute, this is something that, this is a red flag. I'm going to have to bounce.
Well, you know what I mean? With the first midweek marriage, Clayton spoke again, and he was talking about, he's like listing off qualities that you should want in a spouse and what you should want when you're getting into a relationship. And he said, you need to ask yourself.
I bet those you were like, okay, I got to write all these down.
I need to like, oh, not that one.
Flip the page over.
Yeah, not that one. Oh, we can cross that one out. But I'm terrible. But it's okay. I'll laugh about it. But he was like talking about it. And he was saying like, does this person love Jesus? Does this person have a heart on fire for Jesus? Wow. Can you see the fruit?
Right.
Can you see those things from this person? Are they honest? Do they have integrity? Are they, like all these things? And I'm just like, crap. I was like, dang it. What is wrong? Like, if I could go back and talk to my 17-year-old self.
At the same time, you were 17. So, exactly. I mean, of course, you're not really,
No, and
looking for those types.
Exactly.
Those weren't on your priority list, I'm sure.
The thing is, looking back, I can see the things that he obviously did not possess.
Yeah.
And that I looked past. Knowingly, willingly, that's okay.
Yeah.
I can look past that.
Right.
And
it'll change, or maybe you're hopeful that it might change sometime.
And then, of course, when you tell someone that you became a Christian and you want to do all these things, and then for years want to kept talking about how he wants to lead his family, then there's no action. Mm-hmm. What are you, as a Christian woman, as a Christian wife, what are you supposed to think?
Yeah.
And I said that to him last night, because he told me, this is just vulnerable. He literally said after the deployment 3 years ago, or 2018, he came back in 2019. He was like, if I would have came back and told you that I just wasn't really sure about my relationship with Jesus and I didn't really want to pursue it right now, he's like, you would have freaked out. And I said, I've told you 1,000 times over the years that if you are not feeling it, just be honest with me, because that way I would not expect anything.
Right.
I was like, instead, you kept telling me, I want to lead our family. You kept telling me these things. Mm-hmm. And as a Christian wife, I said, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, then I need to try to encourage him to want to do better in those areas. And I said, he's like, well, why do you want to try to change me? And I said, it was never about change. I said, when you're married, you want your spouse to be better. You want to be better. Everyone should always strive to be better. I said, it was never about change.
Yeah.
It was about the heart being better. And he just looked at me, and I'm just like, that's the cold, hard truth. What do you want from me?
Well, and you guys could have reached out to a pastor at that time, mm-hmm. and, if he would have been honest, and then you could have worked through it, and maybe his heart could have changed, but there was no...
Nope, and instead he kept his mouth shut for the last couple
of years.
Played along.
Yeah, played the game. Yeah.
Apparently played the game. He even said, I haven't really felt like a husband in a couple of years. And I'm like, we were literally going to move to Florida a little over a year ago for the military, picked out a house, was planning our future, and then we decided to come here, and we again picked out a house, and we kept going over there at night to see it, and we moved, and we were going on dates and all these things, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Come again.
Right.
You're going to really try to tell me
See, but
this?
That's interesting, though, that you almost moved to Florida, and then the Lord moved you here to be near family.
He literally, looking back, he lined up the almost God-like perfect situation for me.
Really?
For this to happen.
Really?
Because I thought to myself, what if my best friend Natalia, you'll meet her. She's going to come out in March.
Oh, okay.
She's watching. She's
look at her.
She's like bull poopy.
She's like, just preach it. Tell the truth.
But he completely lined it up, because if this would have happened while we were back at our base, away from family
and everybody.
Or if we would have moved to Florida and this happened a year from now.
Imagine. You would be stuck down there.
And because of they could have made me have to stay.
True.
Because if
That's
not,
so true.
I would have had to have 100% custody
That's
to take
so
the
true.
kids and come back here.
Yep.
So he
what a nightmare.
literally,
that would have
even
been...
with the house, I never would have thought I could get a house like this. Obviously, he's transferring it, but I would have been able to on my own,
Yeah.
And so God I feel like he literally was like, okay, I know what's about to happen, so here's what we're going to do.
Yes,
we're going to line it up.
Yes. And of course, you can't see it at that time, but then now, looking back, it's like, wow, it was meant to be.
Fellowship.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at the community that that you've been able to
it is so
get involved in,
yes.
and everyone's been reaching out to you, and friendships and all that.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, even you and me, and our boys, and being neighbors and
literally,
all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It all was supposed to be this way.
All supposed to be this way, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I have to keep telling myself, okay. Because, I made that reel where it was
oh, you've been killing it with the reels lately. I love that.
Thank you.
If you haven't followed her, you need to.
If you have not followed me on Instagram, you need to, because I'm freaking hilarious. Anyway. But
I like the texting. Don't do that. What? I'm not doing anything. Don't do it.
When I made that, he showed up to see the boys. So I was in my bathroom.
Oh, whenever he got there? You should have put that in the caption. Did you put that in the caption?
No, I should have.
Yeah.
And then I made another one. Did you see that?
Yes.
One?
Yes.
So,
your humble servant, Lord.
Your humble servant, Lord. But I was
It's good that you can have a sense of humor about it. Like you said, you have to.
But
yeah.
I laughed when I made that last one because I was like, evidently, Lord, we really did have a bit of a miscommunication for what's going on.
This is not what I asked for.
This is not what I asked for.
Right. This is not what I signed up for.
Laughing. This is what I asked. Like, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I planned. I thought 2022 was going to be like our year.
Yes.
Like he was, like that weekend was his last weekend with the reserve unit. Like he was donezo. Yeah. And I thought, finally, for the first time in our marriage, I'm not going to have to worry about him having to leave. And he has a normal job. And he finally, God blessed him with that job.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, you're welcome. Like, it was literally because of me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's another thing, too. So, my parents, I'm like, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have gotten that job. Like,
yeah.
And I had my Bible study.
But is he still working that job?
Yeah. He decided to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
did his hours just change or something?
No, it's still his whatever day shift or whatever. But I told him, I said, our Bible study on Wednesday mornings, like the woman's Bible study, they were praying for him every single week for weeks to get a new job.
I remember that.
Our life group was praying for him on Monday nights to get a new job. And then because of that, one of the people in the life group came to me and goes, oh, well, hey, why don't you tell me what he likes to do, and I'll see what's available, and I'll email him for you.
Yep.
All of it was God.
Yep.
All of it was God. And that's what made me really confused, because I'm like, why would God bless our family with that job? Because then,
right, so soon, yeah, because it's like he started it and then it was like it happened so soon after that. Yeah.
I just feel like he just spat in God's face. That's just kind of how I feel.
He's going through a hard time. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Ooh, he evidently does.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what he's going through is a whole other episode.
Anyway.
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, on that note, I hope you all have a good Valentine's.
I feel good. I got it off my chest. Appreciate everyone that listened.
That's good. Yeah, maybe that's what you need.
This is my therapy session.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And yeah, be sure you go by, I think it's Time and Loaf.
Time and Loaf?
Yes.
I always, whenever I see that, I think thyme.
I know, right? Maybe that's why I'm spelling it wrong.
T-H-Y-M-E.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to find this because I think she shared it.
Yes,
Time to Loaf.
Were you doing T-I-M-E?
No, I was doing T-Y.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, yes. Yeah, okay, so look at these. She's got these little cute.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I wish I could show them to you guys.
Someone go buy me flowers.
But they're so cute, and you can go by there today.
Oh, those are adorable.
From 9 to 2, so here in 30 minutes.
She also has, apparently, delicious sweets.
Yes, but, and I think she does them on, we'll be open Friday. There we go, from 11 to 2, and she's got hearty soup of the day. Will be the chicken pot pie. Oh, my goodness. And then it looks like she's got these other pies, too. Cherry cheesecake. Look at all that. Oh, she's got some good stuff on there. So maybe go by and see her.
And she's at the downtown Rog.
Yes, but I don't know what the intersection is.
So if you've been in Rog so it's right before the railroad tracks.
Yes.
On that same
Nichols.
kind of like same road as where the police station is.
But it
used to be a senior center. For those in Rogersville that have been here for a while, her building used to be the senior center.
Yes.
I'm pretty positive.
Yes. And it's a Reese and Nichols. Has a name on it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's like a dance, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Dance now?
We need to get on the up and up on the Rogersville news. Oops. We need to ask Will about all this.
Sorry.
We're learning, okay? We're learning.
One day at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we hope you guys have a great Valentine's weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.